while we're talking about like the idiocy of the right-wing science machine, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the morons version of Revelations, the end times as told to you by a former skateboarder and now White House correspondent, Dim Drool. Pole shift detected. 3D models predict outcome of cataclysm. Outcome of cataclysm? 3D models predict the outcome of cataclysm? Wouldn't cataclysm be the outcome, and the outcome of a cataclysm be the other stuff that happens that, I don't know, maybe there's 3D models of people running around going, Jesus Christ! Let's find out, shall we?
Earth's magnetic pole is on the move.
This goes out to all our sailors and our ships at sea.
And scientists just updated its position.
Doggy style? I'm going with doggy style. I think most of them, they've been with missionary for too long, and they're just they want to, because spooning to fork is something that, people with deep and bitingly loving relationships do.
Oh, you mean in January, the media, corporate press, scientists said the magnetic poles are shifting. Now, that doesn't mean there's going to be a cataclysm, but there are many theorists who are predicting that we are going to see a major pole shift. This will cause the planet to spin, to effectively move.
Mm-hmm. It does move. I don't know if you know this. It already moves a lot.
It becomes the southern hemisphere, and it gets real cold real quick. And then we can see that South America, Greenland, and a bunch of other places end up on the equator, including Antarctica. It's a really interesting 3D model that was just put out the other day. Actually, it may be older than that, but it was posted the other day as well. And with these power outages that hit in Europe and Puerto Rico, speculation and theories are that the Earth's magnetosphere is weakening, and we may be looking at a cataclysmic event.
Well, obviously, God hates Donald Trump and wants this to happen on his watch. Or MAGA need a real leader at times like this. Somebody who will, shit his pants and run for the hills.
Recently, I interviewed Ben Davidson about this. He's the space weather guy on X.
Absolutely, the space weather guy.
Smart fellow. And he believes that we are looking at a cataclysmic pole shift, and it's going to, the weakening of the magnetosphere is going to fry our electronics, send us back to the Stone Age. How long?
Well, I mean, the Iron Age, right? I mean, we all understand how blacksmithing works in theory. There are books on it. I don't know if you know that. I don't know, but maybe go pick up a copy of Blacksmithing for Dummies, obviously in paperback.
Survive after that. Perhaps. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but don't let that stop you from scaring the living shit out of your viewers and then moving on to the next thing. I don't know. I think most of his viewers would take the end of the world as a sweet relief.
What I can say is he mentioned a future map of the United States. I don't know that I believe it. Apparently it was a psychic who envisioned this.
Oh, okay. Well, then why didn't you say so from the beginning? So it's definitely going to happen. Nailed it.
But there are some interesting ideas to bounce around, should this be the case.
Are they from the same psychic, or did you read these on the back of Highlights for Kids?
And I will admit, I am fascinated by this topic. I don't.
Well, that makes the one of you.
Know if any of it's true, but it is interesting. And sometimes we chase after stories like this because it's fun. It's fun to imagine.
It is fun to imagine the end of the world where everyone gets shoved back into the Stone Age and people are eating each other's fucking faces and it's like Walking Dead and stuff like that. Wouldn't that be fun? It sounds so fun, especially if you have a newborn. Yeah, anybody with a newborn probably thinks this is really fun territory. You know, I mean, once your kid's walking, it gets less exciting because little fucker, if you can't keep up, God didn't want him to live.
I mean, it's not fun to imagine it actually happening, to be honest, but maybe. Now,
but maybe.
I'm going to say this. I don't know that any of this I believe, right? Earth's magnetic pole is on the move. Scientists update its position. We've got this from Smithsonian. It's from January. Earth's magnetic...
Oh, so it was when Biden was running things, so it's probably a lie. Probably they had some black person in charge, or a woman or something, or somebody in a wheelchair, some DEI hire. So you know how they get, right? They'll post anything.
Pole is shifting towards Siberia and raising questions about unusual movement. Okay, that's scary.
Yeah, especially if you live in Siberia, where they were getting that tangential shitty Arctic weather, and then you're going to get the full thing. Good luck, Russia. Guess what? That means Moscow becomes the new Siberia.
They say the magnetic North Pole is distinct from the geographic North Pole, a fixed point where the Earth's axis meets its surface. Instead, magnetic north is the changing location where the planet's magnetic field lines converge.
Coverage, converge, whatever.
This field is generated by the churning of the planet's outer core, a layer of molten iron and nickel that begins roughly 1,800 miles beneath Earth's surface.
Yeah. Just like God intended 6,000 years ago. Okay?
Fluid dynamics of the core change. The magnetic pole shifts over time in a process known as geodynamo. Now something unusual seems to be...
Which is a really shitty car. I mean, first of all, there's no legroom.
happening. The current behavior of magnetic north is something that we've never observed before. Yikes.
Well, maybe because we've only been observing it for a short period of time in terms of human history or history at all.
Down. For industries relying on magnetic fields, such as aviation, shipping, and navigation, this movement is no small matter. GPS systems, planes, military equipment track the magnetic field and rely on accurate models. You guys ready for the hammer drop? What if...
Yeah, here it comes. What if? Here it comes. Ba-boom.
The disasters that we're seeing in aviation are due to a magnetic pole shift. Not...
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, the helicopters from the Pentagon flew in front of airplanes not because they ignored signals that they absolutely heard and responded to, and fish stinks from the head. It's not because Sean Duffy's a fuckhead. It's because obviously it's happening all over the world, except it ain't. You mean, I'm sorry. So the magnetic pole shift is why, as soon as Donald Trump took over and put Sean Duffy in charge, that we started having problems with our airline system. That's why.
Idea came up with. Other people have speculated this. How did the plane come in hot in Canada and then belly flop? Instruments were reading improperly, maybe? How did a helicopter crash into that plane? Instruments, once again, reading improperly?
No, they knew where they were. They weren't at like 32,000 fucking feet. They could see the runway. They could see the plane. They said they saw it. It was human error, bad judgment. I mean, who knows? Our judgment could be affected by the magnetic poles shift, and maybe people are getting stupider, and that's why Donald Trump got elected.
Nuts. I mean, they said that lady was told to turn left and descend, and she didn't do it. Take a look at this.
That lady? No. The woman that was on the helicopter was not the primary pilot.
Open-minded approach posted this on X. This is the worst case scenario of the geophysical event. The outer part of the Earth, the
Surf Giza? That's cool.
The mantle suddenly shift by 104 degrees, relocating the north and south poles while the planet continues spinning in the same direction as before. Let me see if he's got a better video of this right here. Let's play this video. So here's the Earth, and
well, if you believe it's round,
you're going to see. Let me pause it actually.
Yeah, pause the Earth, and then what happens? We all fly off into space. Thanks, dummy.
You can see the equator. North America up here, South America, you got it all.
Yes, exactly where God intended it.
Now, here's what gets interesting.
We'll be the judge of that.
The planet spins. We can see Indonesia, see Africa.
Diddly 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 diddly. I hear sounds echoing tonight. Hurry, boy, she's waiting there for you.
South America, everything seems normal.
It does seem normal. You're right.
This is exothermic core mantle decoupling.
Wait a minute. What happened to Atlantis? It was just there. Oh, sorry. Once you've been alive for hundreds of thousands of years, you forget that normal humans don't live like that.
Cycle state 1. Now check it out. You can see the shift starting to occur. The planet is now rotating.
That's right.
Off its axis.
Yeah, that's where you forgot the part where God said 8-ball, corner pocket, no spin.
And what happens? Look at where the equator is now. You've got Russia. You've got is that Australia? Oh no, I'm sorry, that's Asia. Yeah, that's Russia. I was right. And you've got Asia and Australia now at the equator. Look at this, Antarctica. Now at the...
It's going to be the hottest travel place. You just wait till Ted Cruz starts running to Antarctica for a party.
Later. Look at Chile.
It might get tropical and hot down there once it's that close to the equator.
Rotate.
It'll rotate so far it won't actually change the weather at all.
This is incredible. If this were to actually happen, take a look at this. So the equator, this is really funny. For those in South America, they probably aren't going to notice a whole lot in like Venezuela and Colombia and stuff, because all that's happening now is the sun is going to move. It's going to appear to go from south to north, which is crazy. Take a look at North America. It becomes very cold very quickly for a lot of people.
No, it doesn't.
The west coast of the United States, if this is true, is going to become like the South Pole. And for those of us...
Look, you thought Big Bear had good skiing before.
That are in Florida is going to get the weather patterns of Chicago. It's going to kill all of these fauna and flora. Look at this. Now, I don't know that it's true. Just an interesting video.
It is. That's all it is. It's an interesting video, Look, and it's a great thing to play if you can't explain to your viewers why the Epstein files haven't come out and why nobody's going to jail for fraud if Doge has discovered all this fraud and looking at their waste and abuse and all that kind of stuff, and there's no referrals. It's just weird. And why the biggest fentanyl bust happens after the border was closed. And you're like, I'm starting to think that most of the fentanyl that gets in the country is actually coming in through shipping containers and in the trunks of cars. It's weird. It's like, it would be weird if I had to talk about that shit. So better I just make up some sort of end of the world. I'll just play a video from a psychic asshole on my show. Anything to avoid talking about that stuff until they invite me to the White House again to shove your tongue right up Trump's tuchus, Tim. Fucking hell. He needs to stop playing amateur meteorologist. He's just meteorologist in general. He's never going to get better. In the year 2525, that won't have happened yet? Yes, exactly. As the world churns. The hand of God cometh soon. Yes, the end is really fucking nigh. All right, I'll let you guys go. I got to go do radio prep for tomorrow. So it's total filler. The point of watching that at all, beyond the absurdity and hilarity of watching these absolute assholes flail for something to talk about now that they're in Trump suck-up land, is the fact that they're really doing these kind of stories. Even the story about Real ID and all that kind of stuff, they run aground with, like, how do we talk about what's going on without ever going anywhere near the increasing number of areas where Trump is shitting the bed? How do you roll around in bed with him the way they are without getting shit on you? That is exactly what they're trying to do. So anytime you see one of these stories, it's a bit of good news, I gotta say, because it proves that they are afraid to talk about these issues. That Crowder video we started off with is indicative of the reality of the conversations that are happening behind the scenes everywhere. But just, he's got fewer viewers, so he can afford, I suppose, to pick fights. Whereas Ben Shapiro at the Daily Wire, they got 7 million subscribers. They can't afford to see their shit cut in half. He's already boiled down to the least of it.